Yep. Yep. Okay, all right, let's just crack on because I've got about 4 subscribers, so I'm not exactly going to be getting only the hardcore like you guys here, so that's good. Okay, let's do a little review. There's nothing that tickles my fancy than some motocross trucks. So we're going to do a little sort of little review of the new season's trucks that have come out. So Anaheim's the first round of the motocross in America, and Vital MX have done they got to the stadium early and did a filming of all those trucks coming in, and yeah, nothing tickles my fancy than looking at a load of motocross trucks. I'm just going to have a little chat about, I've watched it a couple of times to see what was in it, but I haven't written anything down. I've not got any script or anything, so we're just going to sort of talk about it with you guys. And if you've got any questions, that'd be quite cool as well. I'm no expert, but I know what I like. So that's all you need to know, right? So so it's a good job of Vital MX to put this together. Okay, so first truck's Kawasaki, and Kawasaki is one of those brands that have really struggled over the years to get a sort of like an identity going, more than the colour. And you saw it in like Grand Prix racing, where there's more to a brand than the colour. And even now they've got a really unusual industrial design language and a graphic design language, and it's all a bit sort of, it can be a bit kind of confusing. This, I think, is standing alone outside of what the bikes are doing in terms of like the style. But the Volvo truck's interesting, first of all, and I do like the Kawasaki, the traditional typeface that they use. Monster and Kawasaki, goes together really well. With the branding of Monster, and I've said this a few times before, that it's that's great. That team green on the side there, yeah, I'm here for that. I love that personality, right? Because it's so corporate and rigid. Even like a touch of that makes a big difference. So Monster, right? It's so iconic. Even my kids say, "What does that symbol mean, Daddy?" And I have to explain it. But because it's a portrait logo, it's often restricted in terms of what you can do with it, and they don't have the flexibility that Red Bull has in terms of the way it's brand structured. So they are missing a trick with not having a bit more to their branding than just the M claw. I'm just checking everybody's. This is still working. Yeah, still working. So yeah, neat, tidy, pinstriping on the top there, Fox logo. Yeah, we love that. Pro Circuit with the red. Yeah, I love that. Nice little technical logo deck. This is truck 2, is that a 250 truck? Yeah, very neat and tidy. I don't think I'd be taking a photograph of it if I passed it on a highway. The Tedder Kawasaki. Listen, look at that truck. I mean, you gotta love that. Those stacks. It's so cool. For me as a European, it's a bit exotic and a bit sort of romantic seeing these trucks. And they're not cab over trucks like you get in traditional like MotoGP. And we've got all this Troy Lee graphics happening. It's fun. This one's fun. It goes against my thing of having a picture of the sport on the object. So they've got a picture of a motocross bike on a motocross truck. And, just traditional. I like it. Get it on there, because if you put a picture of a motocross bike on your truck, you're putting all your technical sponsors on there already, and it makes your life easier. It's just I don't think people have much imagination of how to get that going. Oh, is it KTM? I thought it was Kawasaki. Red Bull, I'm here for the blue, like it. I like the navy blue they're using. It does seem a bit better with the matte blue that they use in MotoGP. Again, Red Bull's, you know, it's so flexible what they have, what they use. They can do so many different things with it. Big slice angle, the Motor X, this pops off nice. You know, it's hard. I think KTM Red Bull, right? There's this thing called habituation where you get so familiar with something that it loses any impact. And this is what Red Bull and KTM is. Red Bull, and a lot of the energy drinks is that you're so familiar with it, and they stick to the theme of their branding so much that it this thing called habituation. So it's like when you have like a perfume or a perfume that you smell, and at first it smells amazing, and then at the end of the month you can't smell it. And this is what's happened with a failure to reinvigorate your branding, and not like changing it. I mean, that's fantastic as a structure, but it becomes, you just look past it. Nice modern Peterbilt. All right, boys, get her unloaded. Orange is a really difficult colour to match all the time, and they do a good job. KTM and the Holland national football team do a good job of getting that orange consistent, because it can go, orange can go brown quickly and it'll look shit. Yeah, come on boys, get unloaded. Chop chop. Oh, American. Honda, so Progressive Honda, I think this team's called, is it Progressive Honda? I think it is. I love Honda, you know, I love that wing on the top there. Modern Peterbilt, red, white, blue. I'm here for it. It's quite interesting, the CRF graphic on the side there. I don't think it even matches the bike, but you can see what they're doing with this. Okay, so if I just pop back a bit, it's not the strongest, but you see you got like this wing graphic happening here, which is like, you know, echoing the Honda traditional wing, which is awesome. But what is good about this is that you can see how they could use that on a superbike or more on the bike graphics, and with the motocross bike, there's very limited space to do anything. I gotta be honest, that HRC logo is shite, and so is that Pro Honda logo. That's pretty, I don't like that. Star Yamaha. This Yamaha blue is fantastic, right? It is beautiful, isn't it? You can't say that's not a beautiful colour. That's an executive colour, right? So that's the colour you have when you've got your executives coming to see your kit. And when the Yamaha guys come and see this, they'll go, wow, this looks stunning. But because it's metallic, it is a nightmare. And it screams a hot rod rather than performance. And it's a nightmare because you're trying to, when you photograph it, certainly on like, because the bikes aren't this sort of metallic, but metallics are a nightmare to photograph because you've got a range of colour within that colour. So if you're trying to shoot it and the light changes, the bike changes, so you don't get consistency. And what a brand would want to have is, whether you're shooting throughout the season, the images have the same consistency of what the product is or what the bike is. And with a metallic, you just don't get that. So it is a really sexy colour. It's just, and they've got black wheels. That should be, this should be chrome, brushed, polished aluminium, really hot roddy. I think the black, it's quite trick looking, but missing a trick. Loving the FMF, the parts are limited. Again, the Monster. See, it's not really. They're really pushing the Monster. The word lockup rather than the M. Thor again. See, this is like a flatter colour blue. It's a bit more sporty feeling. You've got this M graphic thing, which is like the new speed blocks. I mean, credit to them to pushing that on a bit, but they don't really have a really good visual package, apart from, again, they're relying on the colour. Yeah, again, blue. This should be those chrome wheels in it. Club MX. I mean, it's different. It's bright. It's fun. It's playful. Could do with a navy blue in there. Give it a bit of pop, I think, or something extra. Unmistakable with the type. You know, I love this like graphic thing. I use it all the time in my work. Over the top. I completely sort of make sure it's absolutely full of it as a graphical gradient. I mean, they're using it seriously as a sort of cool gradient, but I use it a lot because it has that sort of 70s motorsport feel. You know, it's got Stussy on it, not the Stussy, but you know, I'm happy with that. You know, it's so Twisted Tea Suzuki. These always look so timeless, right? The Suzuki, in a good way, like, I mean, it doesn't help by that. I think they got the tractor, maybe like a rented tractor, or they don't have their own tractor, but that would be great with the red Suzuki on it, on the side, on the roof. Yeah, it's so timeless. There's not a lot to it. It's quite basic, but has a sort of reliable feel to it, which I really like. Progressive Suzuki, again, something about that blue and the yellow is really nice. Look at the size of Progressive. That logo is massive compared to the Suzuki. And I know the Twisted Tea was big, but what you're seeing here is like a proper they really take advantage of the big size. Yeah, what you've got is this proper Law of the Jungle thing happening with the branding. So who's the boss? And this, you do need this certainly in, I find, in motorsports, and you get like some teams that don't really have an organisation. And I said it on my MotoGP video, like Ducati, there's a sort of a mess, and you need like a big dog saying like, this is what the team's about, and then bring everything in there. You don't really need Suzuki on it, to be honest, really. But if you're a strong brand, you need to have enough of your Suzuki's brand to carry it over the line, sort of thing. So I don't mind that it is like heavy, not other brand, heavy, not Suzuki. But there's enough, because they've gone with the Suzuki DNA, that it is clear, and it is like, I take a photograph of that, definitely. Again, it feels like a sort of Hot Wheels truck, you know, that just very simple graphic. Twisted Tea again. Alpine Stars. Yeah. So what you got here basically is a trap, the italic trap, right? So you've got like, it's like when you use a bit of italic and you think it's great, and then you use another bit, and then you have to use things together, and then the italics trap you in like this weird shape that you can't sort of do anything with. And what you've got is everything's italic and not all the same angle, so you get this sort of like weird sort of connection of all these things that doesn't quite sort of sit right. Having the three colours, I think, helps. I think this would have looked better as a silver than a grey. I think that maybe that's something that they would have probably spec'd. Maybe they could have spec'd it, but a grey with a key line around it would give it a bit more sort of shape. Also, like, I've seen this Alpine Stars Protects, because I've got a lot of Alpine Stars stuff. You know, you see it on, I think you see it on the label of the clothes. It's a great line, Alpine Stars Protects, and I think maybe making it more of a sort of logo or a lockup that they can sort of apply it as a sort of word mark rather than it being like a sort of strap line. But Alpine Stars Protects, you know, making words are important, and they do much more than a graphic, right? And this is something that gets lost. Words do way more than any imagery, right? And it's something I've learned throughout my career, that I can pass words on to you and you can pass words on to somebody else, but you can't pass an image on by saying it or describing it. Whereas Alpine Style Protects, you can pass these words on. You can pass the saying on. It becomes vernacular. And this is what's missing from Formula One, right? There's no words. Everything is like a soundbite as an image rather than any sort of like language. It's really interesting how the dominance of graphic design has taken away from communication. So when I worked in advertising, if you could make something a verb, like a saying a verb, or like a logo, a brand name a verb, you're really getting somewhere in terms of like communication. So like Fly Emirates, right? Emirates Airline, Emirates Airways. Okay, whatever. Fly Emirates. That's really interesting. But yeah, pretty truck. What's next? Falcon, Dunlop, and this has that sort of Hot Wheels feeling, truck toy. I like that. Kind of interesting. Like Falcon, Dunlop is taking over Falcon as a brand, which is quite interesting. Didn't really know that, but I think Falcon's going to be made, because the company owns both of these. The Falcon's going to be made into like a sort of specialized sort of brand, and then Dunlop will be like a hero brand, or certainly in Europe it's going to be a dominant brand. For me, this Dunlop logo mark reminds me of sneakers, trainers, rather than motorsport. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Reminds me of high tech. Triumph. Let me just check my stream's still working. Yes, it is. Well done. I am PewDiePie. Triumph. Yeah. Not a lot to say really. I do like that they went black, certainly on the bikes. Don't mind this sort of silvery grey thing that's going on the side. The italic thing, look at that, right? That's only italic because of that logo, right? I'm not sure if you can see my mouse pointer on the screen, but with the Triumph and the racing is dictating by the triangle shape. And this triangle shape, I like that. It's very, it has a Union flag. Is this supposed to be like a motorbike? Like, you know, forks, grips, and then like levers there. I'm not sure if you can see my mouse pointer, but in the logo, yeah, it's all right. I quite like that lemony yellow. That's quite nice. Factory team's good, all right, mate? Yep. Yeah, I'm good. Just get it unloaded, yeah? Yeah, concentrate on your job. Quad lock Honda. I love that Honda word mark. Yeah, does the job nice and strong. Quad lock's massive, isn't it? Those stripes maybe better grey, like light. And this is a bit of a, that angle is a bit much, isn't it? I think that's like, you don't really need to go a 3-letter logo where it does need to be pushed up at that level. Beta, mamma mia, I love the Beta. Yeah, these boys, yeah, I want a Beta. This truck's great, love it, red. I think Beta need to be making more of this Italian, because Ducati won't make the most of it. And I would, if I was Beta, I would be making this a red, white and green truck, or heavily red then white and green truck, and make the most of Italian flag, because Ducati are going to try and own it, and I think Beta should do that more, because there'd be a lot of red trucks, and own Italy. Italians are stylish, and there's nothing more stylish than an Italian mechanic in a bobble hat and like a trench coat mechanic, Italian. Yeah, that's great. Nice angle as well. You know, it's not too crazy. You don't have to be crazy. You know, quite classic. Husky. So Rockstar. Yeah, it's quite tidy. It's quite tidy. Can I make that a bit smaller? There we go. Let's go a bit further. Yeah, look at the balance. There's a lot of black there to the white. The Rockstar thing's interesting because when I worked with Leah Block last year on her helmet, she had a Rockstar personal sponsor, and got to sort of look at that logo a little bit. And this star, a star, let me just rephrase that. Stars are horrible graphic objects because look at the amount of space you need around it, and it is like literally a spiky thing that just destroys everything around it, and that's a standard star. There's no ownership. It's like a second. It could be another completely different brand. And when I was saying about like that's great. That Rockstar, I think that works really nice. It feels like I've seen it a million times. That's the only thing. And the gold, it's a gold, but it's a brown. So you got that weird thing. Energy drink, right? Rockstar energy drink. Monster Energy. Again, when I was talking about words, make it drink Rockstar, right? Don't. Then you're removing a word but saying much more. Drink Rockstar. You know, I just want to do your job for you, but that's how you should communicate, because you're making your word a verb and you're really connecting it to what you're trying to, what you called, right? Energy drink is so passive and like that. Drink Rockstar. It's my Don Draper for the day. Oh yeah, loving the one, loving the lemon yellow thing. That's great. Love that. Look, you don't need to be big to have an impact. That whole stripe is great. Chrome wheels, fantastic. Bring it around, boy. Yeah, I love all that. Technical sponsors there. Bit tricksy with the Motor X. See again, look, there's no star there. You don't need it. Drink Rockstar. Oh yeah. Let me move that. I can't move that. Can I move that? Yeah, factory racing. That is brilliant. Love that. Say it if you are. Okay, a minute left. All right, mate. Camp out, yeah. This I love this. I love this. Gizmo. It's so wrong. It's right. It is all over the shop, but I really like it. None of the angles match up. I like the blue. This kind of work. I kind of like it. It works. It's a bit weird. The check fade. It's got it all, and it's. These guys have fun. I bet they have fun, right? Partzilla. Right. So let me make that smaller. Partzilla. First of all, I love the colours. Black. That big strong graphic. That's a bit tight there, but it's a really nice package. Why is it a monkey or an ape? A chimp, sorry. A chimp and not like a kaiju? Like a sort of monster, like Zilla. Like a sort of, like a lizard thing, or, you know, something Zilla than an ape, or like a crappy yacht thing. So, but I like that thing behind it. That works. Even like a sort of kawaii sort of creature, like the Gizmo, it'll have a bit more. You got an aggressive word, then you don't need an aggressive symbol with it. That's what I'm saying. Rocket. You should look up Rocket when this ends, because this is the weirdest fucking brand I've ever seen. They do energy drink, vape, robot vacuum cleaners. It's the weirdest company that looks. It's very strange. Look it up. I don't know what the hell they do. But yeah, I love that mint green there. I bet it looks really nice in the flesh as well. Oh, there's no Ducati. Should have been a Ducati, but there's no Ducati. But shout out to Vital MX for putting that video together and give me an excuse to put on my Casio G-Shock coat. Is anybody still here? Rocket laundering. Yeah, exactly. I don't know what the hell. Look it up. It's like they got like it's so weird. It's so weird. And the logo looks the website looks like a Squarespace default like website thing. So they just put the things in, put the logo on it, and it seems